So we are going to get started. Welcome all. My name is Elizabeth Aloni, and I'm with Schneps Media. Schneps Media is the largest local media source with over 70 newspapers, magazines, websites, webinars, podcasts, and events throughout Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Manhattan, Westchester, Long Island, and Philadelphia. And today we are thrilled to be able to bring you the Philadelphia Museum of Art Craft Show Artist Meet and Greet with the wonderful Stacey Lee Weber, a metal and jewelry artist. Welcome, Stacey. So I just wanted to get started with telling everyone a little bit about the wonderful Philadelphia Museum of Art Craft Show. This year is the 44th annual and the first virtual. And it is a premier showcase of contemporary craft and design. It begins online Friday, tomorrow, through Sunday, the 8th, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And there's actually a virtual preview today happening right now from 4 to 8. So after this, you can join them for the virtual preview. There's going to be museum quality contemporary craft and design right at your fingertips with a simple click from the comfort and safety of your own home. So please join for the 44th annual, as I said, first virtual Philadelphia Museum of Art Contemporary Craft Show, the 6th through the 8th. Admission is free with a suggested gift of $10 to support the Philadelphia Museum of Art. You can enjoy early access to the show later today. So you could subscribe to the preview, and you can also experience a first look at the artists and their work. More than 150 of the finest artists in contemporary craft and design from across the country will be highlighted. Categories included are clay, fiber, glass, metal, like the fabulous Stacey, and wood, plus jewelry, wearables, and furniture. You can experience live streaming, artist demonstrations, artist videos, studio visits, and opportunities to connect with the artists. And the show is presented annually to benefit the Philadelphia Museum of Art. So it is truly an honor for me to have with us a talented metal and jewelry artist based in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, whose work pushes the boundaries of everyday recognizable objects to the point of unidentifiable. Welcome, Stacey Lee Weber.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, so wonderful to be here. Your work is so spectacular, and I'm thrilled to be able to bring you to this wonderful audience. And tell me, the PMA Craft Show, have you been there before? What is your experience with it?
Yeah, I mean, it's my favorite show that I do. I do about 10 to 15 shows on a normal year. Obviously, COVID has affected all kinds of events like that. But of those 10 to 15 for the past 5 to 7 years, the Philadelphia Museum Show is definitely my favorite. I'm local to Philly, and so maybe I'm partial a little bit. But, I get to sleep at home with my cat every night. And instead of traveling, we go to Chicago, to Colorado Springs, like all kinds of places. But the Philly show is just super high end. It's really intimate. Like, there's not a ton of people versus some of the fairs that you go to that's just like booth after booth. I feel like it's really curated, and just a really cool community of people that the women's committee that put it together. Honestly, like many of them feel like my aunts at this point. So they're really sweet. Yeah.
I have heard from other artists as yourself about that it really is a very curated event. So really the best of the best in craft art. So
yeah, it's really like an honor just to get into this show. It's a juried show, so thousands of applicants apply, I believe, and it goes down to like 150 people. So it's really select, and I know just to even be invited, it's like a huge honor.
Well, I heard, a little birdie told me there's another huge honor that came down your way, and something very special happened tonight. You want to share with everybody?
Yeah, so the virtual preview event is happening right at this very moment, and I just hadn't tuned in yet because I was waiting for this great interview to tune in, but I've been dinging up, like blowing my phone up with people texting me that I won Best in Show for the awards ceremony, so I get to celebrate. Yay! I'm having a drink tonight. I was gonna anyway, but I'll have two.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm so honored. I mean, just think of, like I was saying, like all those applicants and then down to 150 and the best in shows only one. So it's amazing. I am truly blown away. Never happened.
We're so lucky to be here with you. Imagine
Yeah,
have the best in show right here in front of us. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started as an artist.
Yeah, I kind of traditionally went to get my schooling, like college. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, so I went to Ball State University, which is only like an hour north of Indianapolis, but home of David Letterman, and that's kind of the only relation that people have with it. But anyway, I was always artistic, and I just got my Bachelor of Fine Arts, and then went right on to graduate school, where I got my Master of Fine Arts at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. Go Badgers, Wisconsin, very great right now. So I got my MFA, and then school was all in avoidance to not go to real life, where you have to figure out how to make money. And but somehow it all worked out. You know, I started working with coins in school. So it was more of a conceptual series that I was trying to think about the value of someone's handwork and the time they put into making something, and or just making a living or anything. And so it dawned on me to just start cutting up pennies. And then I realized pennies are solid copper. So copper is a material I was trained to make teapots with, or vessels, or jewelry. And so it sort of was like a lightning bolt one day that I could be making objects and jewelry that out of pennies. Yeah, and that was the initial just kind of brainstorm. And then that was in 2008. I finished and got my graduate degree. And I moved to Chicago and moved to Milwaukee a little bit. And then I've been in Philly now 10 years. And it's just been a really great community of people. And my husband's here too. So it's awesome. We have this amazing studio that you're seeing behind me.
That does look incredible. Wow. So it sounds like art has really always been a passion of yours, and really from a young age, you really were clear that art is what you wanted to follow. And then very uncommon, I think, you know, you really thought about like, how can I make money at this?
Well, common and not common. I mean, common. And you said common, not uncommon.
Yeah. But I mean, I think, you know, sometimes artists don't always think about the business side of it. So,
it's true.
You know, it's an important thing to kind of marry those two.
Yeah, you know, I got really lucky. I think luck is kind of whatever, but luck, and also you make it happen. But when I started working with coins, I naturally saw that people were attracted to them, like for tons of different reasons. Some because they love Abraham Lincoln, who's on a penny, or others because their grandmother collected vintage dimes and they remind her of their past grandmother. So, you know, it started to like snowball into something over the years. And there's a lot of different kinds of even vintage cool coin jewelry. And so I try to elevate and create like my own style with the coin jewelry that I feel like is unique. And also like big artistic wall pieces and sculptures that I've made too. So to try to be really well-rounded with what I can do with it. And I work with other materials too. It's just the coins have really like taken over my life. And I love it. It's great to relate to people in that way. Something familiar.
Wonderful. So can you tell us a little bit more about like your why? You know, what's the root of your artist passion?
Ooh, passion. You know, but the root of it is making things, just bringing a penny, you know, into something that is sought after and something someone loves. So I call myself like a studio rat because I just love to be in here. And I live in not in here in my studio, but there's a little apartment close by. So my husband and I just always thinking about artwork, and it's just kind of what we live and breathe, you know. I never wanted kids, and the more older I get, I really feel like how passionate I am for making things and being in this kind of lifestyle, because it definitely is, it takes over, you know. It's like all all I can think about sometimes.
Wow. So it's really an all-encompassing passion, exactly what we were saying. That's phenomenal. And you really take the ordinary and you make it extraordinary, which
Thank
is
you. I try.
So would you show us some of your jewelry artwork?
Yeah, definitely. So I brought a couple of pieces to the bench. I'm really jazzed about these necklaces and bracelets I've been making. So this is Susan B. Anthony. Good timing. And of course, all the coins have presidents. So this is a lady who, helped with the 19th Amendment, the women's right to vote.
Wow.
And it's 19 Susan B. Anthony's. So all from the $1 coin, they're all hand cut and then little jump rings soldered on each side. So I just finished this for the show and listed it online. And that has a cool matching bracelet, which has a cool little clasp to it, if I can figure it out. It's a little sliding like tube clasp, so her face kind of goes half and half. Let me get.
Oh, wow.
Get real close. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. How do you cut the coins?
Yes, the cutting, my main question of every fair. And we're at the jeweler's bench, so I can show you the cutting of the coins. Yeah, this is a jeweler's saw. This is like my best friend. I thought about getting like a tattoo jeweler's saw, maybe soon. But this is a C-frame saw with a handle with this tiny blade on it. I mean, you could probably barely see the blade, but it has little teeth on it on the outside. And so I have a penny, like right here. We all have that penny in our pocket. So I was gonna show you just how I cut Abe Lincoln's head out. And so I have a bench pen this is the bench pen. And I hold it down and just go up and down with my saw. So I'm gonna do the whole one. And sometimes if I don't mess up too often, but if you cut his little nose off, then you kind of ruin the face. But other than that, if you give him a haircut, he doesn't mind. And the image sort of pops right out at you. It's something I feel like that people kind of want to see. And so, although I'm pretty good at it by now, and of course I'm trying to like go in a hurry. So
you could see how time intensive it is to make, just be able to cut out one face. So you make a necklace like that. Wow.
So I popped it off and I'm gonna pull it out for you so you can kind of see his head sort of come out. He popped out of his little.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible.
Yeah, and so you can see Susan B. Anthony, that necklace. And then I've had this collection of jewelry that I would love to share with you guys. That is all the Lady Liberty, which before the presidents the Lady Liberty was on our coins, if you can believe it. So there's different depictions of what she looks like. There's, this is a barber quarter, and it's kind of more masculine, but these are all American vintage silver coins that have 14 karat yellow vermeil over the top of them. And these are freshwater pearls. I wore a fancy pair that I like to wear for you guys in ambers at the bottom.
Those are spectacular.
Yeah, so they're all hand cut, just like I showed you, a little more elaborate with the more intricate cuts. Wow. But this collection I got to work on with Oscar de la Renta 2 years ago for New York Fashion Week. And we did a whole capsule of about 20 to 30 pieces, earrings, necklaces. And it was just an amazing experience Elizabeth, you could show them.
Yeah, let me show some pictures here. You have to see.
Yeah, there's Gigi Hadid wearing a pair of my earrings. There we go, yes. So the two birds are coins.
Oops.
Oh, you're fine. The two birds were coins that have been cut out. And we did a lot of different like foreign coins with Oscar de la Renta. Oh, perfect.
Wow.
Yeah, so that started, I worked with a designer and that started this whole other series of coin work that took me in this other direction, which was really exciting. So Those are freshwater pearls, vintage silver coins cut out. Yeah,
it's bigger. Look at that. Spectacular.
you. Yeah, so that was such an honor. And then it's just evolved from there. I don't recreate the pieces I work with them on, but of course, like earrings and, you know, if you use a different coin, the earring is different. So they're all one of a kind pieces that I make.
Absolutely spectacular.
Thank you. Yes.
So I have like a weird question. I hope it doesn't put you on the spot, but is this legal?
Oh, very illegal. Like lock her up. No, I'm joking. Of course I get the question all the time, and on my Instagram feed, you can see tons of comments, me replying of how it's not illegal. But the technical thing I say is that it's only illegal. The law states it's only illegal if you have fraudulent intent to deface money. And so fraudulent intent would be counterfeiting. But if you change coins or paper money into, you know, something that's sellable that you're not fooling someone, then, you know, and I always say I'm actually upselling and making it more valuable actually. And then a little fun side note, like this little tidbit, if someone's really fighting me about it, I try to tell them that the work is in the Mint. The Federal Mint in Philadelphia sells some of my jewelry at their gift shop.
Wow.
Like, they're weirdly supporting me.
Well, I mean, I think that you're bringing value to what it is, and also, you know, really honoring the tradition of it, because it really tells a story. I mean, that's another thing that I'm moved by, that I feel like each of your pieces tell a story of our country's history.
Yeah, thank you. And that's why I just seems like I have more and more ideas. That's why the snowball I was talking about is like, once I started looking at vintage coins and the Lady Liberty, and now I'm like really into gold coins, like solid gold coins. So it just gets really super fun to see our history a little bit on coins. Yeah.
Incredible. So where do you get your coins?
Mostly if they're not someone's personal collection, you know, like I do custom work where someone will send me a coins that they may have in their, you know, saved from their family or something. But other than that, I generally buy coins online. So there's tons of markets, like mostly eBay or something like that, where it's like I'm paying for the value of the silver, because coins are graded sort of like diamonds. Like if it has a scratch, it's less valuable or something like that. So yeah, I'm trying to get a certain price for, you know, the coin I want without looking too bad, but having enough detail, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's part of the art, is the hunt.
Ooh, yeah, always. I'm like an eBay fanatic.
Can you, Stacey, would you be so kind as to give us a demonstration of how you create some of your incredible art?
Oh yeah, I wanted to take you guys to my soldering bench, which is right behind me. So I'm gonna move the laptop. We're in my studio here, and I can kind of just pan you around quick while I stand here. But we have a really big 3,000 square foot studio with a gallery.
Wow.
So I'm showing you like just kind of the jewelry bay. That's my little home. But we have a lot of equipment, and the gallery is a really cool aspect to our studio. Our gallery name is Bertrand Productions, which is my husband's middle name, Bertrand. But you should check out like that website, and that Instagram handle is Bertrand_Productions. And that has
spell that. I'll put it in the chat. How do you spell that?
Yeah, I can do it real quick.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I'll do it. But yeah, it's been an awesome kind of offshoot of being full-time artists to support other artists that we love. And we have a show coming up that actually shows some of the former craft show artists that didn't get to do the fair in person. So there's 20 different artists that we're gonna have all up through the end of December. And that's in Philly, and it's by appointment, mass, you know, the whole bit. But okay, I'm showing you something, that's why.
I'm also putting here your Instagram handle here at Stacey Lee Weber.
Oh, cool, that's perfect, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So this is like my favorite place to be in the studio, is this soldering table. And it's a bit of a mess, but I think one of the things that really attracted me to metal is fire. And I think a lot of metalsmiths talk about that is their inner pyro heart, you know. But I have two torches. One is this big, awesome acetylene. So this is acetylene in natural air, and I have tanks underneath. But for what I want to show you, I'm going to show you my favorite little torch, which is this little baby mini torch. And it's propane and oxygen. And I have a vent system. I'm just not going to turn it on for this so you guys can hear me. But just know it's safe and we're all cool. So I wanted to show you, so the heads, you saw me cut a head, and I have a little pile of heads. And I actually have set up this little row of heads that have a little divot that I burred out, which is what I'm going to put this, it's a little nail. Can you see that? Yeah. It's just a little brass nail. And that is the start of a lot of sculptures that I make, is a coin with a nail in the back pushed into a surface. So you can imagine, like in the art section of the shop, if you get a chance, you can imagine like different wall pieces made out of tons of babe heads and a swirl design or something like that. But for the demo, if no one's soldered before, or this is a very introductory like practice, but I thought I'd just start somewhere simple. This is flux. Just yell at me, Elizabeth, if you have questions.
Yeah, no, I just said wonderful. This is great.
Oh,
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. This is flux, which means fluid in Latin. I don't know, a different language. And it helps the solder flow. So it's a way to keep the metal clean, because if you can imagine heating metal that it just instantly gets really dirty, especially copper. So first you gotta paint a little flux on each little divot for the posts to have the solder flow in between. And then I have a bunch of little nails sitting here, and I have this brass nail in it. It's called a third hand, because when you actually push the tweezers together, they open. So it's like opposite of what normal tweezers. So I put a little bit of flux on the nail head and then a little bit of flux on the abe head. And I have my torch at kind of a medium heat, you might say. And I have already cut up little bits of solder here. Solder is, looks like it comes in wire form or sheet form, but it's actually a mix of metals that is a lower melting temperature than the metal itself that you're soldering, hopefully, or you'll melt your piece. But I think this is a medium temperature solder, and I heat the little ball of solder and it comes and jumps on my nail. And then I'm gonna heat my little abe. And so when I got taught soldering, someone once told me, like, both things have to be the same temperature at the same time for the solder to flow in between. And so if you think about that, it makes sense. And if you try to heat this, that little thing is going to get a lot hotter than heating the abe quicker. So you kind of have to hedge your bets of where to point the torch and what to heat faster or slower. And that just comes with practice a little bit. But I'll show you this final finished one.
Have you lost a lot of heads that way, learning how to look at the right temperature?
Yeah, definitely. Copper luckily melts at a really high temperature, but silver is a little lower. So you can imagine like the post on an earring is very similar to this type of soldering. So if you're trying to solder on a post to like this giant quarter, you might just melt your post before you even get it soldered onto the quarter. But this guy, see if I can get somewhere where you can see a little bit, is the post all soldered on. He's a little oxidized from the heat, but after this it would go in a pickling solution, which would clean off the metal. It's called pickle because it's like a mild acid. It's actually like a pool chemical that you can buy, sodium bisulfate and water, and that cleans back the copper and takes off the fire scale. And then there's a bit of like a patining process. But if anyone loves fire, I suggest going to your nearby jewelry center and taking an intro to jewelry or metals class because it's super fun. I mean, I just sit here with headphones on like for hours, just like zoning out.
Wow, that's incredible. How long does it take to make a piece?
Yeah, it's such a range with my work. I mean, I've sold, up to like $50,000 for a big sculpture, and that took a year probably. And then small studs, I can do a fair amount in a few hours. So it just it depends. But yeah, I feel like the bigger pieces you have to like really love and be passionate about it because it's so time intensive, the work, and every part of it, the soldering, the cutting, is like it just gets longer and longer. And Dahlia was here earlier, but I have a couple assistants that help me a couple of days a week, which is really great. That if you can afford any help, it just eases your mind from maybe when you don't want to do that soldering 1,000 times in a row.
Wow, that's incredible. So we have some questions from the attendees, if that's okay for me to ask. So Dave wants to know, how has the experience been selling on Etsy? And have you tried other places?
Okay. Yeah, Etsy. I have a presence on Etsy. I've been like kind of in and out of Etsy, I guess. I like to just be on it with a couple of products just in case someone searches my name on Etsy, like it won't be blank. But I just found, I guess, to lead people more to my own web shop has been more beneficial for me. I think that the web shops now to host through Squarespace or you could get it cheaper than Squarespace. It's, I don't know if it's $35 a month or something, but to me, it's more important to create like that look of your whole design and your brand versus Etsy that's like creating the look for you. So oh God, what was the question? My experience on Etsy. Yeah, so that's all my experience. I get a couple of sales randomly, but I definitely shop on Etsy, but I just like, it's not my main. I try to get direct people to my web shop because it has more of a variety.
Sure, and I could show that as well so people could see.
Oh,
What
cool.
Where Dave wants to know, where do you get inspiration to decide what piece you want to make?
I'm full-time right now and have been for like 5 years making jewelry and sculpture. Oh, cool, Elizabeth. That looks yeah. Yeah, and I just posted a bunch of new earrings. But yeah, inspiration. So what I was just saying is like sometimes it just comes from orders or customers even have cool ideas. Like right now I'm doing this big Abe necklace that has like a rainbow. They wanted a rainbow on the Abes. So I had to figure that out. Sometimes customers inspire things and then in turn inspire me. So then I created the Susan B. Anthony necklace because I was thinking about this chaining heads together. And other times it's just something like haunting me, that I just must make. But I do find a lot of times my work is like derivative of the last piece that it's inspired by something I've made. It's just slightly different or something like that.
Great, thank you. So another question that we have is, how often do you have to change the saw blade?
Oh, that is a great question. Very technical. Maybe every other coin I cut. So, it depends the coin and all that stuff. But yeah, that's the part that people, I think, really get like annoyed by because once the saw blade breaks, it's a bit of a process to open up the sides and put another one back in. And if you can't see very well, you have to make sure the little teeth are out and down. But man, I've gotten really fast at it. So I don't mind breaking blades. I break a lot, like every other coin, but coins are also really thick. And I think people forget that it, usually in jewelry, you're cutting like thin metal, maybe 20 gauge or even 24 gauge, which is pretty thin, but coins are actually more like 8 gauge, which is really thick, depending quarter, penny, whatever it is. So it takes some skill. So a lot of broken blades, but they're pretty cheap.
Very good. Dawn has a great question. She wants to know, Stacey, your work is simply amazing. Is there a dream project that you would like to do but haven't yet?
Oh, that's a really awesome question too. Yeah, that's my problem is like too many darn ideas because my dream project right now and has been for a few years. And I just can't get to it mostly because there's just other cool commissions I'm working on and things, but it's a big chainsaw made out of pennies. And so I've done a whole series of tools made out of pennies, hammer, and that's how the work started, which was what I was talking about in school, the more conceptual sculptural project. But I have a chainsaw that I bought the chainsaw. I made the paper model because I need a paper model to then begin creating those pieces. But it's been like 2 years I've had the paper model and I haven't started the actual making of the pennies. And it's those things are just been really hard to get to. I feel like it's hard for me to say no to smaller projects. So then you can't get to the bigger thing, but it's all moving in a good way, I think. But
Wonderful.
that'll be in the next 5 years. I'll make that.
Nice. Anne Elizabeth wants to know, why a chainsaw?
Ooh, okay, yeah. I feel like the tools, it started with 3 carpenter's tools, a hammer, a crosscut saw, and screwdrivers. And they were to represent a blue collar worker or just an everyday worker. And then being out of pennies to make it sort of questioning the value of labor and blue collar work specifically. And so that was 12 years ago now that those were the start. And I find through the years, I'm getting more aggressive, like tools with teeth on them and like chainsaws. Maybe it's the political climate. I don't know, but I just feel like there's some kind of beauty in making, there's something great in making something like a tool that's so masculine and aggressive into something beautiful. It's like undeniable, but it's still kind of scary in a strange way. Like chainsaws are terrifying. Many bad experiences. So yeah, that's a short answer.
That's a wonderful answer. Thank you. Rini wanted to know, where do you get your tools? And also, does anyone collect your broken blades for a sculpture?
Oh, that's cool. Blades are so hard because they're like a really hard, sometimes titanium or steel. So they're hard to work with, but I actually sent all my blade, not all, but a grouping of blades one time to this woman who made a really cool knife out of it. Like she forged them all together. That was freaking cool. But honestly, I throw many of them away. There's a lot. Like if I would have saved all the blades, oh my God, they would take up a room in my apartment. But tools, I love tools, as you can see. And, you know, I'm not afraid of getting rid of a tool I haven't used in a few years because we do have a big space, but there's only so much you can keep around. But as far as jewelry tools, I generally go to Rio Grande, which is like a jewelry supplier. And then it's online, riogrande.com, I think. But also just eBay, again, my eBay holicness. But you can get a lot of amazing tools, especially local to Philadelphia and the Northeast, area that most of us are in. People are just selling like great used tools and you can easily like oil them and refurbish them. So yeah, I think that's most of my places.
Thank you. Eileen said, Stacey, your work is so different and cool. Love learning about you and your amazing designs. Totally so unique.
Thank you. That's awesome.
And thank you. I mean, this has really been such a treat to be able to meet you, to hear about your inspiration, to see you creating your work, and then to see the spectacular finished pieces. I'm not surprised at all that you won Best in Show. Congratulations again. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. You reminded me I have to pinch myself and get my drink. Oh, my cat wanted to say hi. I wondered if she'd make her face.
Well, it's been
Thank you guys. Wonderful. Thanks for having me, Elizabeth.
Really wonderful to have you. Wonderful to meet you. There goes your phone blowing up.
Congratulations, Dave.
Thank you so much to all of our attendees. I want to remind everyone that the PMA Craft Show, Philadelphia Museum of Art Craft Show, begins tonight with the preview and tomorrow officially through Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's the 44th annual Philadelphia Museum of Art Craft Show and the first online. You can go to www.pma, and I'm putting that right in the chat now, craftshow.org, and learn more and join and see more of Stacey Lee Weber and her fellow incredible artists. Thanks again so much, Stacey. Thanks so much to all of our attendees, and hope to see you again soon on another webinar. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Bye.